Snow falling over much of the state. Roads already slick and sloppy. Where it's going to hit the hardest and what you need to know before the morning commute.
Everybody that walks in the door, she's got she knows their name, she knows what they ordered.
A family business at the heart of its community.
Half of the people that leave here say, I love you on the way out.
And now that family is struggling.
We used to pack this place, and now we only see a handful of people every day.
Battling health problems, watching sales slip. This family needs help from the neighbors it loves to serve.
We're at a very low point.
And rapidly rising rent.
My head is spinning.
In the middle of a tough economy, renters are stunned and left wondering where to go next.
I think it's appalling that somebody would do this to seniors.
The new plans from some counties hoping to ease the financial strain.
It is looking like a good night to stay inside. Take a look. Snow falling across the Front Range and the roads are getting bad. Welcome to Denver7 News at 10, everybody. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. Thanks so much for joining us on this Weather Action Day. Now, the good news is this snow and cold, they're going to move out pretty quickly.
Denver7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson kicked things off. Some caution is going to be required for the morning commute, Mike.
Oh, yes, because of the timing of this coming in right now through about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Already the snow covering the ground out at City Park. Temperatures dropping quickly. 22 in Denver. We're down to 10 out on the plains at Sterling and Akron. And winter weather advisories basically from the Wyoming border all the way down to the New Mexico border. We've had bands of pretty heavy snow falling along and west of I-25. Much lighter farther to the east, but already some reports of 2 to 3 inches of snow in some of the heavier bands, and it'll continue for a few more hours. Boulder County, Jefferson County, Denver, the heaviest mainly along and west of Sheridan Boulevard and extending down now into Douglas County as well. So the weather headlines for the morning, locally heavy snows. It could be as much as 6 inches. That's going to be a slick and slow morning commute. Skies clear Thursday, and there is much warmer weather coming up in the 7-day.
Thank you, Mike. So many Coloradans are struggling to make ends meet. So if your rent suddenly spikes by hundreds of dollars, well, that's another hurdle during already difficult times.
The local counties are searching for ways to give renters relief, but as Denver7 Sloan Dickey reports, some families just feel forced to uproot.
We've packed boxes. We have boxes.
Margie Bloom is struggling to keep her home.
We're very close to our family. We have 6 kids. We have 10 grandchildren.
After 10 years, she can't afford to live there anymore.
And we feel like we just are being pushed out.
Her small Lakewood apartment complex housing older residents was recently purchased. The new management company is now increasing her rent.
We were paying $11.50 and we started here at $1,000.
In a matter of months, her rent increased from affordable.
December 22nd, we got a letter saying that our rent was going up $400.
To pushing her out.
We all are disability, Social Security. Obviously, everybody knows you don't make a whole lot of money on either one of those.
Several of Bloom's neighbors also spoke to Denver7, all saying the rent was increased this year by several $100s.
It was a sticker shock, to say the least.
And they're not alone. A record number of people are seeking assistance for rent in the Denver area. A mixture of high prices and disappearing economic opportunities are creating a growing crisis.
There's a huge need. And I don't think that there's a way to sugarcoat it.
The Action Center, a rental assistance program in Lakewood, has stopped taking requests for financial help because the demand is so high.
A typical year for us, we will have $120,000 in rent assistance for an entire year. We have spent $1.3 million in less than a year.
And with the U.S. moratorium on evictions for renters expiring at the end of March, there's reason to be concerned. The state of Colorado has organized a resource list by county for Coloradans struggling to pay rent. And just this week, local jurisdictions are taking action. Weld County just received nearly $10 million in emergency rental assistance funds to help struggling residents. And then Tuesday night, Denver added nearly $22 million into its rental assistance program.
There are multiple resources out there to help folks. And there are very long wait lists as well.
With few other options to find affordable housing, Bloom signed a new one-year lease on the apartment with her husband.
It makes me sad,
But come next year, she'll likely have to leave.
I'm feeling like we're being pushed out of Colorado.
Sloan Dickey, Denver7.
And today, Governor Jared Polis laid out his ideas for helping Colorado rebound from this pandemic. The governor devoted much of his State of the State address to economic recovery. Mr. Polis is pushing for a $1 billion stimulus plan. He wants to see more infrastructure spending on things like transportation and expanding broadband access in rural areas. He also focused on health care costs, showing support for a state-run health insurance option. He says climate change is also a top priority after a year of historic wildfires, and he is backing renewable energy jobs. Polis says all the spending is possible because of tax revenue.
We have over $1 billion of one-time carry-forward money. It's one-time stimulus money that we can invest in. There's so many great opportunities to really put our mark on making the quality of life even better in Colorado and creating jobs.
Now, Republicans say they like the governor's push to cut some taxes and add the speech lacked specifics.
As the state hears from the public about whether to renew Suncor's operating permit, one group now is trying a new tactic, shedding light on the ongoing pollution from that Commerce City refinery. Instead of suing Suncor, Wild Earth Guardians is suing state regulators. In a statement, the group says Colorado's regulators have been complicit in allowing the company to keep violating clean air laws and smothering communities with toxic emissions. A 30-day public comment period started today, so neighbors can weigh in on that operating permit, which, by the way, regulators say likely will be renewed.
Parents are concerned after several teens in Boulder County lost their lives in recent weeks by overdosing. And tonight, a virtual community meeting was held to talk about ways to prevent any more from happening. So for context here, teens are taking pills they think are Xanax, but the pills coming from the black market are laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl is cheap to make. It's also 50 to 100 times more potent than heroin. And tonight we learned more than 90% of pills seized by Colorado law enforcement are fake, meaning they contain other substances. And of those fake pills, about 25% contain a deadly amount of fentanyl. So the big takeaway for parents, talk to your kids, and instead of just telling them don't do drugs, ask if they're concerned about their friends. Make sure they know the signs of an overdose. And there's also a big push to start keeping Narcan in schools. Some organizations are even handing out Narcan to teens for free. And you at home, you can also get your hands on Narcan without a prescription from select Colorado pharmacies.
Well, tonight, Dr. Anthony Fauci is pushing back his timeline for open season on COVID vaccines. He told the Los Angeles Times that a smaller than expected number of early doses from the Johnson & Johnson version means shots will be widely available in late May or early June. That's about a month later than predicted. President Biden says, though, we're still on track to have 600 million doses available by the end of July. And there is some good news about the effectiveness of our current vaccines. Recent studies show both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines work well against the new variants, including that one first reported in South Africa. Well, from behind the counter of their mom and pop restaurant, the family has served food with a side of wisdom and love to those who need it.
And now they're the ones in need as they fight to keep their business alive in a time when customers are few and family health problems are frequent.
Denver7's CB Cotton explains how you can help.
In this small shopping center,
It's our homemade green chili.
you'll still find lots of variety.
Making us a sausage gringo.
Everyone just makes a totally different combination.
This mom and pop shop prides itself on offering just about every ingredient you can think of.
Tamale and a burrito, bacon, beans, potatoes, eggs.
Mark Lamontagne and his wife Cindy have owned and operated Burritos To Go in Broomfield since 2004. Their 3 sons, including one with special needs, help run the store.
So it's kind of like both our dream jobs.
In all that time since they've made their beloved burritos with special fillings and toppings,
Green chili, that's the most thing I'm most proud of here.
but the past year has revealed one dwindling ingredient:
Now it can be just a handful.
customers. Lamontagne thinks the pandemic has been a huge part of their customer decline.
30 or 40 credit card transactions, and now we have like 7. It actually seems to almost be getting worse lately.
He thinks his wife's absence is another part of it.
Cindy knows exactly what they eat. She knows their name, she knows their whole personality, their whole life.
But Cindy's health problems mean she can't be around much lately, a huge loss for nearby high schoolers that love Cindy as much as they love the food.
One day, one of them brought in a graduation picture and gave it to Cindy, and she put it up on the shelf. And the next day, someone else brought one, and then someone else brought one. If anyone had troubles at home, they could come to Cindy.
And now, troubles continue to build for LaMontagne. His middle son, Ben, has spent the past year battling brain cancer.
The MRI came back and they found a tumor on the left side of my brain. It came back as an anaplastic astrocytoma.
As Ben recovers, he can't imagine the family business not doing the same.
Would be one of the worst things that our family would go through.
And while things feel bleak,
We're at a very low point.
LaMontagne says customers are the missing ingredient
Hopefully things will turn around soon.
to keep from losing it all.
And we're going to certainly stay here as long as we can.
CB Cotton, Denver 7.
All right, listen, if you'd like to help, donating is really easy. Head over to thedenverchannel.com, click on Denver7 Gives. You can make a tax-deductible donations right there. So once you're on that page, under the drop-down menu, select Help Burritos to Go Rebound.
I like controlling chaos.
Treating COVID patients when every second counts.
They're sick and they're hurting, their most vulnerable time. That's when I like to step in.
Now, this Colorado doctor is working to build vaccine trust in communities of color.
Everything to try to decrease health disparities in marginalized groups.
And she says history is a powerful motivator in this essential effort.
I feel that I stand on the shoulders of giants.